It didn't start yet. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Hurricane Melissa has hit Jamaica with a Category 5. We're going to show you live video so you can sit there on your phone, in your living room, in your car, wherever, and see the devastation that Melissa is doing in Jamaica and is going to Cuba by late tonight. Let's keep it moving. All right. And Mecca Audio. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're going to show you a video so you understand how this storm started, where it went, but I want you to see the footage of the devastation that it's doing to the island of Jamaica. Put it in the comments, and you know, if anybody have that Sora invite code, I'm going to put it on the screen. Please, you know, hit me up. You know, the Sora invite code. Let's go. Live footage from Jamaica.
October 28th, 2025, Jamaica, located in the heart of the Caribbean, came under the direct impact of Hurricane Melissa, the strongest storm in its history. Approaching the island with sustained wind speeds reaching 295 kilometers per hour, the hurricane posed an unprecedented threat, not only to Jamaica, but to the entire Atlantic basin. Warnings issued days in advance by the government and international meteorological agencies predicted the destructive power of this storm. However, the true face of the storm turned the phrase "disaster of the century" into reality for the Jamaican people the moment it made landfall. The scale of the damage caused by the winds in the eye wall, combined with rainfall approaching 3 meters, made structural collapse, flooding, and mass displacement inevitable in many parts of the country. Melissa went down in history as the first Category 5 hurricane to hit Jamaica. No storm in the country's history had ever made landfall with such high wind speeds. The massive system, which headed towards St. Elizabeth Parish, knocked out power lines, toppled lighting poles, and damaged buildings.
Just so y'all know, that's 175 miles an hour that the wind is hitting this island. Look how it's ripping the trees up. I'm gonna show you where the roads is flooded and they're sailing on pallets, you know, down the gully. I got some video for you. Sit back, make sure you enjoy this ride. But remember, if anybody got that Sora code, if anybody have that Sora code, I need you to, you know, text it to me at that number.
Buildings along the coastline in many residential areas with the massive water it carried. The Jamaica Meteorological Service announced that the pressure at the center of the storm was measured at 901 millibars. This was recorded as one of the lowest values in Atlantic history. A pressure drop of this magnitude meant that a massive accumulation of energy in the atmosphere had hit land. Even hours before the hurricane reached the country, its effects were already being felt. Jamaican Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transportation, Daryl Vaz, announced that more than 240,000 people were left without electricity before the storm made landfall. Due to excessive load on the grid, communication systems collapsed in some areas, and road transportation came to a complete standstill. Infrastructure systems in the St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, and Manchester regions were rendered inoperable due to flooding.
Look at the flooding down there. If anyone have any family members in Jamaica, I suggest you reach out to them now. And as tight as y'all get up here with a Cash App, y'all need to send them a Cash App. Even $5, $10 a piece would help. So I know they might call all the time for some money, but this is the time when you could tell they need it. This is the road, and look at the houses how it's being washed away. There's nothing worth anything right now. Everything is wet. Let's keep it moving.
In the inland areas of Santa Cruz, flash floods from the mountains reached residential areas. In the town of Spalding, roads were reported to have turned into rivers.
Look at
Evan Thompson, chief director of the Jamaica Meteorological Service, stated that they expected up to 76 centimeters of rainfall in the central part of the country within 2 days. This was equivalent.
That's like, I think they were talking about like 40 foot of rain. Somebody correct me in the comments, because I know the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trousers out there. I think they were talking about like 40 foot of rain coming on the island. Huh?
To almost half of the island's average annual rainfall. Such intense rainfall caused drainage systems to become completely clogged before the soil could reach saturation point. From Kingston to Black River, along the southern coastline, it was reported that water levels rose in coastal settlements and winds tore roofs off buildings.
Look at that.
The hurricane made landfall near the town of New Hope, Jamaica, at noon local time. The National Hurricane Center, NHC, announced that Melissa's maximum wind speed at that moment was 295 kilometers per hour. This was not only the strongest storm in the country's history, but also matched a level reached by only 2 other hurricanes in Atlantic records: the 1935 Labor Day hurricane and Dorian, which struck the Bahamas in 2019. For this reason, meteorologists describe Melissa as one of the most destructive Atlantic hurricanes of the modern era. The eye wall of the storm directly hit the Black River region in southwestern Jamaica. Coastal huts built by fishermen operating in the area were completely destroyed, and coastal businesses were flooded. Significant damage occurred in many public buildings, including the Jamaica Power Services office. The National Hurricane Center stated that the storm slowed down as it moved over Jamaica, but that this did not reduce the danger. According to a statement made around 2 p.m., although wind speeds dropped to 265 kilometers per hour, Melissa remained a Category 5 storm. Although hurricanes generally weaken upon landfall, Melissa's size and energy reserves limited the impact of this decline. Meteorologist Mary Gilbert said, "This system is so powerful that even a brief decrease in wind speed does not diminish its impact." Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness described Melissa in a statement as a natural event that will cause catastrophic damage. Holness emphasized that the country had never been directly affected by a Category 5 hurricane before, and that this was a first for Jamaica.
This is the first time in history that a Category 5 hurricane has hit Jamaica. How much is that? Whatever amount of kilometers they said it was. Somebody put it in the comments, because I can't get no help. All right? Let me know in the comments.
A United Nations agency described Melissa as the storm of the century. The strongest storm the island had previously faced, Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, was only a Category 4 when it made landfall and caused widespread destruction around Kingston. Dean in 2007 and Beryl in 2024 followed similar paths, but neither reached Melissa's raw power. As the storm progressed, dramatic images continued to emerge from different parts of Jamaica. Some communities were completely evacuated, but evacuation plans could not be implemented to the extent expected. Authorities had expected 50,000 people to go to shelters, but by Monday night, only 1,700 people had reached these areas. This situation highlighted the extent of logistical obstacles and communication disruptions.
See, that's because the island has never seen a Category 5. They have weathered through all the storms over history, but they've never experienced a Category 5. So I can see people saying, because I talked to a few people there, they say, nah, I ain't going nowhere. It's just a regular storm. They make it a big thing. Let me tell you one, right? Because you know what we doing, what we feel like doing right now. We riding. I'm gonna tell you one, right? I talked to my man this morning, early, about maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking my daughter's dog Ginger, right? And my man says, I said, yo, what's going on with down there? He said, man, it ain't nothing, man. They making a big thing out of nothing. I said, what do you mean a big thing out of nothing? He said, man, he said, we had a little rain. We had a lot of rain yesterday, but that's all we had. Ain't nothing happening. I'm sitting on my porch now, And I said, nah, but the news people saying such and such. He said, oh, nah, they do all that because they just trying to sell food and to back up whatever they have, and they trying to sell the lumber so people buy the lumber to board at their house. That's all a hurricane is for. It ain't about nothing. They faking. This is what my man telling me down there. He in the hurricane. And I'm like, nah, dog, I'm looking at it. They said it's going to hit at 175 miles, an hour. He said, man, they faking. The Home Depot down here, they don't even got no Home Depot. They don't sold out the little bit of stuff they got, the hardware stores. Everybody done sold out. He said they selling the water. Everybody panic. It's just like how Christmas. He said, Christmas time, they say it's a big holiday because that's the time that they sell all the trash that they can't sell at the end of the year, and they put a couple of new things in for the future year, but they selling all the crap. He said it's the same thing. You ain't about nothing. I said, yeah, all right. So I come back in and I lay down, and, I get a text later on, and put in the comments. What do you think he said? Put in the comments, man. What do you think he said when he texted me back? He texted me back at, he texted me about 4 or 5 hours later, right? What do you think he texted me? He texted me, blood clot. It's serious, don't you, Unique? I said, what? Not the man they talking about they were just selling out the stuff. He said, blood clot, it's serious, man. It said, water all in front of my house. And he sent me a video with a whole ocean running by his street where you can see his gate around his house and all this brown clay dirt running down like a river. And he's like, oh my God, Unique, it's serious. So I texted him back. I said, nah, it's fake. They just trying to sell out the stuff. He talked to me back and said, move your blood clot, man. All right, let's get back to this. Let's ride.
The destruction caused by the hurricane led to roads being blocked in many villages, making access to shelters impossible. Many incidents also occurred in Jamaica during the preparation process. Numerous people were injured during evacuation, and repair work carried out as part of pre-storm safety measures. During the same period, the outer bands of Melissa also affected Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Y'all got to remember that a Category 5 hurricane is 15 to 30 inches and up to 40 inches of rain falling. So you know what that's like? That's beating the roof down. And then the roof, and then the wind is blowing. Let's get back to this, man. Because what we doing, what we like to do, all right, let's go.
3 people died in Haiti and 1 in the Dominican Republic. A total of 7 deaths were reported. 3 occurred in Jamaica during storm preparations, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic.
And yo, word is born, right? That's how the front of my man's house looked. But the water was, because he lived in the mountains, so it was like hills and stuff. You could just see the water going down, pa-toom, pa-toom, pa-toom. And he sent me a video. That's when he said, blood clot, it's serious, don't it, Unique? You know what I mean? But, it's just because we're so used to certain things, we think it's always going to be like that. Well, we done rode out the storm before. They do that. I done bought all this water and all that, and I got water for the next 6 months because the storm or the snowstorm wasn't all they said it was going to be. And this is one of those, so we're going to see how this play out in the end. But pray for your peoples in Jamaica. And if you know anyone in Jamaica, I don't care if it's $5 or $10, send them something, man. Send them something. All right? Because what we doing? What we doing?
The effects of Melissa were not limited to Jamaica. Cuba issued evacuation orders for 900,000 people as the storm headed north. The U.S. Navy evacuated 1,000 personnel from Guantanamo Bay. The National Hurricane Center announced that Melissa was expected to affect eastern Cuba from Tuesday night to Wednesday morning and remain at least a Category 3 storm. It was then reported that the storm would create hurricane conditions in the southeast and central Bahamas. Infrastructure across Jamaica suffered extensive damage. Power lines collapsed, and water and sewage systems were knocked out. Numerous settlements, particularly in the Clarendon and Manchester parishes, were completely submerged. On the southern coast, storm surges breached the foundations of homes and advanced inland. A large portion of the road network became unusable. Emergency crews were unable to reach many areas. The government deployed military units to continue rescue efforts. However, air operations were suspended due to the intensity of the winds and heavy rainfall. Hurricane Melissa went down in history as the strongest and most destructive event of the 2025 Atlantic season. Experts note that above-average water temperatures in the tropical Atlantic played a significant role in the storm's intensity. High temperatures are increasing health risks in evacuation zones. Infrastructure teams are continuing their efforts to repair electricity and drinking water lines. We extend our sympathies to the people of Jamaica and all communities in the Caribbean region. The devastating effects of Hurricane Melissa have tested the resilience not only of one country, but of the entire region. We are deeply saddened by the magnitude of the loss and damage in the wake of this extraordinary natural event. We believe that with the support of the international community, Jamaica will rise again and demonstrate even stronger solidarity in the aftermath of this disaster.
This is what made Red Bridge look like. This is on the highway side, on the Glenville Road. So this is what people near this is.
We continue
Melissa. The hurricane is reported to be the strongest on record to ever hit Jamaica as it moves toward land. Aerial footage shows sustained winds of up to 175 miles per hour as of Monday, October 27th. Hurricane Melissa is a Category 5 storm, with a UN agency describing it as the storm of the century. Jamaica has never been directly hit by a Category 5 hurricane, and Hurricane Melissa's impact is reported to be devastating. The U.S. Department of Defense has
Look over here, look what is in top here, what is in there? Don't look up, you know. See there?
So let me show y'all how
brother.
Hold tight, man. Melissa come like a lioness, see?
Yeah, Hurricane Melissa mashing up the show, carrying
She
us out of the
spin,
sky.
she whirl, she tear down.
Wow, the breeze a lift with you, brother.
Hold tight, man. Melissa come like a lioness, see?
Yeah, Hurricane Melissa mashing up the show, carrying
She
us out of the
spin,
sky.
she whirl, she tear down.
We are nearing the inevitable landfall of the strongest hurricane to ever strike this island nation. No one on Jamaica will be spared from the fury of Hurricane Melissa as it comes on shore in the coming hours. This slow, agonizing pace of about 3 to 5 miles per hour that is just going to prolong the misery across this country. We are in Kingston. National Weather Service, very strong wording about complete structural failure, communication, power outages for days, and isolation of communities possible. Here in Kingston, you can see the winds picking up in the background. The rain has really come in earnest throughout the course of the night. Trying to get a couple of hours of sleep to prepare for our day today. My windows were rattling last night. The strong
I'm Shaquille and I'm here on the...
Everything is underwater. The waves keep crashing through the hotels. Look at that. Look, look. That is a shark. That is a shark right there in the street. Lord, please. They're swimming past the cars.
Oh, man, and that's what's crazy, man. That's what's crazy. I had the mute on. That's what's crazy is that, do y'all believe that this is a shark in the water? That's what I want to know. Do you believe that this is a shark in the water? You know, or do you think that this is AI? It's crazy that anything we see astronomical now, we say is AI. Put in the comments, do you believe that? All right, let's keep it going. Let's hear what she got to say.
The street. Lord, please. They're swimming past the cars. They're right below. Everything is underwater. The waves keep crashing through the hotels. Look at that. Look, look. That is a shark. That is a shark right there in the street. Lord, please. They're swimming past the cars. They're right below. Everything.
I tell you one thing, if that's a shark, when this is over and the water subside, they're going to have a lot of shark meat to eat. I hope they send me some. All right.
It's underwater. The waves keep crashing through the hotels. Look at that. Look, look. That is a shark. That is a shark right there in the street.
Yeah, bro, that's a shark. Fam, that's not a dolphin. Look at the tail, G. Fam, I swam in there this morning. I left my sliders in the deep end. Tell your girl come get her Air Max. They floating in the jaws, blood. No, I'm ringing my nan. I'm done.
You have a
Look at this now.
rain done. Hockey dip.
Yo, this is crazy. Yo, they're playing dominoes in a Category 5 storm. Round of applause to Jamaica. Round of applause, Jamaica. That's how you fight the storm. Let them know ain't nothing stopping you. Do you see this? Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed and hit the notification bell and subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio and Real Boss TTTV. Show some love. The same I'm actually show some love to anyone you know in Jamaica. Let's keep it moving. Hey, let's keep it moving. All right. Look at this. He's fishing in front of his house. Look. They know how to have fun to take this thing like it is. Look at this. You see? Look, she twerking. She twerking. Come on, dog. You know what I mean? How much more serious can you get than that? You know? Man, I don't want to hear the guy say, hold up. Now, look at this one here. Look at this. I got to give you the volume on this one.
All strong with their spirit. You brave like lion, boss. Straight blood clot, brave for that. Hurricane can't stop me here.
On the corner.
Easy now, me got it. Respect. One love.
Lord have mercy, look on the man.
Come on, ride it, brethren. All strong with their spirit. You brave like lion, boss. Straight blood clot, brave for that. Hurricane can't stop me here.
On the corner.
Easy now, me got it. Respect. One love.
Hey, yo, if you don't know where he's at now, that's what you call the gully in Jamaica. That's the area that I'm from. That's the gully. That's like the above ground sewage. And right now, it's so much water, all the crap done washed away, and now he having fun letting Melissa know that, man, we can make love or tangle or whatever you want to do. Let's keep it moving, because what we doing now, what we doing? Somebody tell me what we doing, man. Put it in the comments. All right.
Lord have mercy, look on the man.
Come on, ride mind it, brethren. Full strong, but they are spirit. You brave like lion, boss. Straight blood clot, brave for that. Hurricane can't stop me here.
Hurricane Melissa has now made landfall in Jamaica. This is a live look right here from Montego Bay. And we've been sharing this live look with you for hours. And this is the worst that we've seen so far. Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 hurricane. You can see the rain. You can see the wind whipping through these palm trees. And over the next number of hours, we are expecting to see these conditions continue to deteriorate. Hurricane Melissa has now made landfall in Jamaica. This is
Look at this. Look how the water is beating up the side of this joint, just so you understand how real it is. Look how they done tore down the buildings, and they still got the dogs out there chilling. One of the videos my man sent me, right? Because we like to do what? What we like to do? We like to ride. Now, check it out. My man sent me some footage when the water was blowing. I think it was the one with that it had the greenhouse, and there was a dog on a tree, and the dog is holding on to the tree while the water is running down the whole road like a river. The dog is smart enough to get up there on the tree, man. All right.
Yeah, man. Live outside. Boog Lagoon. All boats are apparently safe for the most part. They're experiencing pretty much 65 knots of wind right now. And it's expecting to go to about 160 in like another hour and a half or so. Yeah, pretty much. Very intense. Come on. Normally you could be seeing the other stuff on the other side there, but it's impossible right now.
On the live. Taps and roses. Eh? Don't worry yourself, man. They're live. Thanks for your gift, guys. Top up the screen, see me. Remember to follow me. Please, me, I beg you to follow me.
Hey, y'all, all of them on their way to a little chick house right now. Look, they like, man, we gonna hit that dog. You know, it's a hurricane. We gonna go chill with these hookers. You know, they on the way to the whole house right now. You know, and as you see, nothing stopping man from going to the whole house.
I beg you to follow me. Buddy, the fish echo can I cheer a jump? It a go jump, you know? On the live.
This is the view from the Kingston terminal right now. 250-mile-an-hour winds have ripped apart the airfield, and the storm surge has turned. This is the view from the Kingston terminal right now. 250-mile-an-hour winds have ripped apart the airfield, and the storm surge has turned.
So, you know, we've been here long enough. I just wanted to show you what was going on. We might do a live on this later. Put in the comment if you want to do a live, and I can show some more videos because they got all kinds of crazy videos showing you how Melissa is not playing. All right? Make sure you hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Unique Mecca Audio and Real Boss TTTV, Unique Mecca Audio Prison Stories, and Mecca Audio TV.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio.